Today is the day that we wrap up Season 2 for the Las Vegas Venom expansion draft-only franchise on NBA 2K26. Key things to consider for this episode. We have a potential Rookie of the Year. That's not the button I was trying to press. Currently, Ken Nixon is in first place. Steven Delk, who was the number 1 pick in the draft, is right behind him. Nixon definitely has a fairly large edge in the scoring department. The second highest scoring rookie is actually Lewis Miller. But Delk has him in most of the other categories. Nixon is slightly edging him out in the steals department as well. So as long as Ken Nixon can keep this big scoring lead, I imagine he wins the award. But if Delk goes hot scoring, I think he has the supporting stats around him that if it gets close in scoring, then Delk could end up taking the award. So will Nixon end up being the Rookie of the Year? The other thing to consider is, of course, where we are in the standings. As it sits right now, we are the second worst team in the West, and that's probably going to stay the same. It would take the Jazz all of a sudden winning a lot of games and us losing a lot. I can see us losing a lot, but I don't think the Jazz are going to win 4+ games. I do think we can catch up with the Nets, though, and end up being the third team in terms of the bottom of the order and having the highest lottery odds. I think the Reign pretty comfortably have number 2. The Reign comfortably have number 1. The Jazz comfortably have number 2. But that 3 spot I still feel is up for grabs between the Nets and the Venom. So can we get there? I can also see us falling as low as 5 if we have a good end of the season and these two teams do poorly. We could be as low as 5. So 3 to or even maybe even 6. 3 to 6 is really our range right now. We're currently number 4, and I'd like to, at the very least, not fall, but I'd like to rise up to that number 3 spot in the lottery odds. Let's now jump into the final game we're going to watch here in Season 2. And our opponent for this game will be the San Antonio Spurs, who are currently ranked as the 8th best player on this power ranking while we're down at 29, very understandably. Honestly, I'd wish we were even lower. But we'll see if we can make that happen in this episode. I wanted to play the Spurs for, honestly, a few reasons. Number 1, we've watched the two other teams, that were involved in the big trade this season. 3-team trade between the Wizards, Jazz, and Spurs. So why not go 3 for 3? Another reason is I think this is a team that we'd actually lose to. Our team actually plays pretty well against bottom-tier teams when we hop in and watch the game. So I wanted to play a more upper-tier team to aid in our goal of losing games here in this final episode. And then the third one, if I'm kind of planning for the future here, I do think that the Spurs are very likely to be that final boss in the West that we're going to need to overcome, if you will, if we're going to make it to the finals here in this series. You know, they're a really young team. As you can see, they're already good. They're rated as the 8th best team in the league. That's a great block by Jalen Williams, by the way. I think, and they're only getting better. You know, Steph Castle, Wemby's already in 96, so he's not quite all the way as good as he's going to be. He can probably get some more badge development, but Dylan Harper's going to get way better than what he is, and he's already a solid starting guard. So this is a team that I think the Lowry Markkanen acquisition helped kind of balance the team out a bit, and they're going to be a problem for the next few seasons at the very least, as long as they can keep this young core together. And while we're certainly not a problem for them at this point, but of course the goal is that we will be a big problem for them down the road. That one stolen away by Ken Nixon, and he slams it down in transition coast to coast. Missed there by Vassell, is hauled in by Buffkin. Las Vegas running the other way. Williams able able to get it in there before Victor Wembanyama had a chance to truly contest it. Williams has done a decent job so far against Wemby, but there's only so much he can do when you're starting a 6'9" center against Victor Wembanyama. Castle finds an open Lauri Markkanen, and he can't get the three to fall, but the offensive rebound and putback off the glass for Wemby is good. Nixon, hounded by Steph Castle, tries to maybe draw a foul on the drive, but Castle got that one away from him cleanly. He gets another look, much cleaner this time. Still no good. A great pass up the court, and then it leads to the alley-oop. Some excellent passing there in transition from this Spurs team. Pick and roll. Easy two for Wemby, who has had a really good first quarter scoring, and then he shows off his defensive acumen there with the help side block. Buffkin and J. Will running the pick and pop. Williams fires one in from downtown, making this a 1-point ball game here about 9 minutes into this quarter. Nixon, some nice defense staying home. Brian Dunn looks like he had a decent shot inside. Instead, he passes it out. He had a 3-ball earlier that I wish he wouldn't have taken, and then that layup I wish he would have. And it leads to the Castle 3 for the Spurs. Pick and pop again. Jay Will open again and splashes home another triple. He is leading us in scoring right now. Harper gets the and one. That was a nice little play there from the Spurs to get him some leverage down low as Nixon misses the mid-range jumper. Double comes and it leaves Sohan wide open. That's a nice place for the double to come from. We'll take some Sohan threes. It's probably about as good of a shot as we can force from the Spurs as we will head into the second quarter, tied at 24 apiece. And good job battling by the Venom there in that quarter, despite Victor Wembanyama really taking it to town on us. And getting the second quarter started is Anthony Simons with a layup on the inside. Collier swings it out to Harper. Catch and shoot triple falls for him to give the Spurs back the lead. Hawkins gets a nice mid-range jumper off of the pick, and the pick and roll working now on the other side for Jakob Poeltl. Basket. Simons, good look from three. Can't hit it though. Spurs will go inside to Poeltl. Once again, the double comes. This time it's to Ingram on the outside, and he makes his pay. Hawkins pulls up and hits another jumper for us. Good start to the second quarter for him. Sohan did not look comfortable at all pulling the trigger there on that deep ball. Spin by Harper and the finish with the left. Great job there on the drive. Isolation. Simon spinning, trying to do his best Dylan Harper impersonation, and does a good job with it. Harper off the screen, pulls one from deep, and he's already looking really good. I mentioned him as somebody that's still going to get a lot better for the Spurs, but he's already looking good here as he's leading this unit in the second quarter so far. Castle with a nice finish through some contact from Jordan Hawkins. Sohan read that pass easily. Coming up with the steal, and oh no. Jarius Walker, they're going to call him for a foul, and I thought it was a clean block as Anthony Simons misses another good look from three. He's usually money if he can get clean looks, but not today. As Ryan Dunn gets the block inside. Another missed open three off the catch from Anthony Simons. Leads to a short jumper from Sohan. Another shot that I think the Venom just fine with him taking. On the roll, Ryan Dunn slams it home with two hands. Up top, in traffic. An excellently placed pass from Isaiah Collier gets Wemby an easy basket. Jay Will, a rare miss for him in the first half there, trying to get the layup in a lot of traffic there. In transition, a nice feed done to Walker, who will drill the corner three ball. Vassell trying to go up top for Pirtle. It gets momentarily blocked away by Williams, but it eventually finds Pirtle's hands. Now Williams with a nice pass inside to the cutting Anthony Simons, who slams it home. Hawkins has shown some nice touch in the mid-range. Can't get it to go from beyond the arc. Wemby has Hawkins on him in the post, and that's about as close to a guaranteed basket as you can get. Harper forced to put up a deep three as the shot clock was expiring, but he makes it anyway. He has been money for San Antonio in the second. Under 30 seconds remain, and the transition three from Steph Castle will extend this Spurs lead. Venom can't get anything to go here at the end of the quarter. Wemby hoists up a three, and he bakes it in. Oh my, Wemby. Come on. That's hilarious. He was even guarded. Theoretically, he was guarded. I mean, he's 7'4", so it's hard to guard him. Jalen Williams has been, honestly, our best player so far at the half. Just 4 of 11. Simons is actually being good inside the arc. He's just 0 of 5 from 3. Ken Nixon, 6 points on just 1 of 6 from the field. He's been relying on the free throw to get his points in the first half. But, yeah, Williams has been our best offensive player, at least. He's obviously allowed Wemby to do a lot of things. I think there are a lot of things that he just can't defend from Wemby, who was 10 of 12 at the half. Dylan Harper is their second leading scorer with 13 on 9 shots. Let's get into the second half now. Done. Takes some picks. Gets it out to Nixon, who now continues his struggles from the first half. This time he has a great bounce pass over to Jay Will, who hits another three. Makes it 13 points for him on the night, and Ryan Dunn with a second highlight block here in the game. Into the post. We've given Ken Nixon a couple of shots here in the post. I haven't seen that in any other game so far. I kind of like it, even though that shot didn't go. But he had a great pass out of the post the first time we gave it to him. Not saying I want the post to be like a mainstay for Nixon, but nice to see that we're giving him those opportunities. 13-point lead for San Antonio. Nixon finds a wide open Anthony Simons, finally gets something to go from downtown. Off the baseline, Wemby just too long for Jalen Williams to really have a shot at altering that play. Nixon gets his pocket picked by Steph Castle, who's given him a lot of trouble in this game. Cutting is Wemby and finding him for the easy basket. Nixon catch and shoot, gets it to go after a few bounces. Finally a clean look for him. He's able to convert it. Ryan Dunn on the wings nearly gets it stolen away by Markkanen, but it lands into the hands of Walker. He makes a baseline mid-range jump shot. Harper, I do not know why he didn't go all the way to the rim there. Maybe it was to free up Lauri Markkanen for the putback slam. Nixon inside to Walker, blocked by Markkanen. Wemby, all the space he needs from deep. Extends the Spurs lead to 17 now. Nixon to Williams. That one had no chance whatsoever with Wemby in the area. But the Spurs can't convert the transition three. Pick and roll with Wemby is wide open. He continues to dominate us. Nixon, tough look from deep. Not going to convert that one very often unless you have some really nice badges. Nearly another steal for Jalen Williams. He's gotten a couple where he's tipped it, just hasn't been able to come down with it. Saw briefly there. That's 35 already for Victor Wembanyama now. Pick and pop. Nixon gets all the way to the basket. He hasn't been able to get there as often as he usually does in this game. Castle's just been really good defensively on him. The difference remains 17, now 75-58 as Nixon going against Wemby. That's not a matchup you want to try and exploit, but he hits a really tough mid-range jumper. On a night where his mid-range hasn't really been working at all, he hits the hardest one. Inside to Walker, rolling around the rim and in for the transition basket. Vassell found some space from deep, can't get it to go, but Wemby dominating on all areas, including the offensive glass. Done. Another good look inside that he passed up. I wonder what his tendency is for shooting inside, because I thought he had 2 layups that he's passed up now in this game. Top of the arc, Wemby pulls the trigger. 81-62 now the score. 3 minutes remain in the third. Rhino found Simons open in the corner. Drilling the 3-ball. Harper gets by Hawkins. Flings it over to an open Wemby, but finally Wemby misses. It's not been a common occurrence for him in this game. Harper, pull up jumper. Pulled it left. Hawkins grabs it for the rebound. And then the feed from Strother to Reynaud. Perfectly executed transition there. No good on the catch and shoot from Harper. Hawkins trying to get it to go from deep, but cleaning up the glass is Maxime Reynaud, who's always a reliable few baskets on the inside every single spotlight game. Good look from Markkanen. Can't drill it. We're under 30 seconds left here in the third. And a great pass from Simons over the outstretched arms from Pirtle. Gets him another interior basket. He's really come alive here in the third quarter. That missed 3 from Castle will end the third, and the Spurs will take an 8-point lead into the final quarter here in this game. Vassell to Pirtle on the pick and roll is how we'll kick off this final quarter here. Collier into the game playing point, and he finds Pirtle again. Got to do a better job defending that, and that's really where Reynaud's weakness is. He's not a good defender at all. As Nixon hits a tough shot with the right hand there. Vassell left too much space in the corner. He makes his pay. Nixon, oh man, he had a lane to the basket. He pulled up from the mid-range instead. Not a good look. Collier, I mean, he's not a very good shooter, but we left him about as much space as you could possibly leave a player. No good from Reynaud inside. A rare miss for him. Gets another chance here. This time slams it home with a little bit more room. Nixon downhill finds a wide open Jarris Walker. There you go. Easy 3-ball there from him. Pick and roll. Buffkin, that's not his shot. No good there. And Vassell with the and one on the other end. Strother, the one that hacked him on his way up to the basket. Simon's having a tough time getting by Harper, and he misses the layup. Very difficult one at that. And blocked away by Dunn again. His third great block of this game results in a Ken Nixon layup on the other end. Wemby, shot clock winding down against Williams, and he just doesn't have the length to really bother him. He got that block earlier on him, but apart from that, Wemby's just been able to find the angles he needs in pretty much any scenario. 100 points now on the board for the Spurs after that Markkanen transition. Basket in the paint. Simons missing on the good look from 3. Inside to Harper. He finishes with the right hands. 19 points with half the quarter left. We're not coming back from that. Ultimately, I did say I picked the Spurs because I thought we were going to lose the game, and that ends up being the case. 26, 4 and 4 on 24 shots, 4 of 14 from deep from Simons in this game. I think Ken Nixon came back and played better in the second half for sure. He ends up with 21, 8 and 8. Jay Will, 15, 9 and 2. Rayno ended up with double digits after a stronger second half as well. Ryan Dunn, those 3 blocks were awesome. I just wish he took those 2 layups, honestly, that he decided to pass up. And then 44, 15 and 4 with 3 blocks for Wemby. He pretty much was doing everything he wanted. He only missed 4 shots in this game, and he got enough help from his teammates for the easy win. Ken Nixon would sustain a left hand fracture after the 81st game of the season with only 1 game left. I'm just going to let the CPU do this. But we've won 1 game only so far this episode is against the Grizzlies. So we are now 21 and 60. Taking a look here. I don't imagine we pass the Jazz. Oh, man, the Jazz are now 20 and 61. And the Nets are 22 and 60. Okay, so as long as we don't win this final game, we'll have at least the best odds in the lottery. We could even surpass the Jazz if they win their final game. So let's go ahead and simulate through. The Warriors are 40 and 41. They're in the play-in tournament. Hopefully they have some desire to win this game. And we beat them. No way. You've got to be kidding me. Well, there you have it. Luka Doncic is your MVP for this season. Rookie of the Year ends up going to Steven Delk. I'm not going to actually override the player. I just want to see here. So Ken Nixon, 23 and a half points, 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.2 steals. Does not end up winning Rookie of the Year. Played in 81 games. He needed that 82nd game. Just kidding. I don't think that would have really made the difference. Dame Lillard is your 6th man. The most automatic thing in 2K. Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player of the Year. Most improved goes to Rob Dillingham. And then Kevin Durant finishing off his career with the Nets. I kind of honestly forgot about that. He put up 37 points per game on that terrible team. Hopefully he had a clutch basket on the last game of the year. How do you win Clutch Player of the Year on a team that won like either 22 or 23 games? Did he win did he get a game-winning shot on every single one of those wins? You have Luka. Let's go to stats here. Saw his stats. Got Jokic, Wemby, SGA, and Kevin Durant as your first team All-NBA. Second team, Giannis, Ja, Halliburton, Şengün, and Jason Tatum. Şengün, second team All-NBA. Good for him. Paolo Banchero. I love me some Paolo Banchero. He's 3rd team. Josh Giddey is an All-NBA player this year. Booker dropped 30. Bam. And Zion. Healthy enough to make All-NBA this season. Here are your defensive teams, and then Ken Nixon, of course, will still make All-Rookie first team. No Dragic here. He will be the headliner of the All-Rookie second team instead. As we are now to the postseason, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats for the Venom players this year. 27.4 for Anthony Simons compared to his 30 per game last year, but he remained more efficient. Did drop below 50% from the field by the time the season was done, but still practically 50, 40, 90. I mean, if you round on all of these, he had a 50, 40, 90 season for us. So pretty good stuff on a high volume for Anthony Simons. Ken Nixon in his rookie year. 23.5 points per game is the most points per game in a rookie season since I believe Allen Iverson. So gave him a ton of minutes, gave him a big workload, and wasn't like the most efficient player ever, but for a rookie guard, I think you cannot complain at all. Ken Nixon was awesome as a rookie. 9 points per game was that third highest. It was a career high for Jarris Walker here. He also got a lot more in the way of minutes than he's ever gotten. Ended up only shooting 30% from three for a guy with an A 3-point rating. So he's got kind of a goofy release. Oh, it's a B minus. Why did I think it was an A? Maybe, oh, it's because his overall is down to 71. So he's not very happy. That would explain it. 8.6 for Kobe Buffkin off the bench for us. If we go back to the stats page here, I probably would have been faster to go the other direction. But under 30% from the 3-point line for him is not great. We got 7.7 points per game from Strother. Not as high points per game as last year, but he was much more efficient with it, so that's good. Hawkins shots, most of his shots from three, so that's why you see a lower field goal percentage. But still, I mean, for the guy who should theoretically kind of be our sharpshooter, I'm hoping for higher than 37% from three, if I'm being honest. Jalen Williams, 7.3, 8.2. Really similar to last year, just a little bit lower on the rebounds and assists. Lower overall efficiency, but slightly better from three. Ryan Dunn doubled his output points per game wise and was just overall more efficient. Got to get that free throw percentage up. Maxime Reynaud, the Spotlight Game All-Star. I think that game he made against the Kings might have been his only three-pointer of the whole season, but that means he shot 100% from the three-point line. Harrison Barnes, probably his last season, like playing significant minutes for us, although you never know. It kind of depends on what we're able to do in the off season. And that is your end of season recap. Let's see how we ranked in some team stats though now. In terms of points per game, we were the second worst team in the league behind only the Bucks and behind even the Reign. In terms of points allowed, we were the fifth worst in basketball, which means differential-wise, we had, I mean, pretty much we were as bad as the Reign. We just won 7 more games. If you take a look at the win-loss officially, the Jazz did not win. Based off of this, so I don't know what the tiebreaker is in this scenario. So we're either going to have the third or the fourth best odds going to the lottery. Hopefully it's like differential, and then but I honestly don't know what it is. So we ended up with the same record as the Nets because we won our final game. What a joke. I should have benched everybody for that game, I guess. In terms of shooting, we had the lowest shooting percentage in basketball. We shot the second most threes, and we were the fourth worst team at doing it. So high volume is something we were not very good at. In terms of free throw attempts, we're probably going to be towards the bottom there. Not a lot to really point to and say as a strength. We had the worst rebounding. We had the worst assists. We were, I think, we were about middle of the pack steals wise. Towards the bottom blocks wise, just not a lot to point to for our team in terms of strengths. We had the second fewest bench points, second chance points. We were the fewest by a wide margin. In terms of, we allowed the second highest field goal percentage in the league. We allowed the 6th highest 3-point percentage in the league. Boy, oh boy. Only place to go is up for the Las Vegas Venom in Season 3. For the next episode, we will be going through the postseason. I may or may not watch like the end of some of these games, if there are some Game 7s or anything like that, to see kind of what's going on around the league. That kind of depends on if there are any close Game 7s or games worth hopping into the last couple of minutes of. And then we'll get through the lottery, which is, of course, a big lottery. Again, I don't know if we'll be 3rd or 4th, but I do know that the Kansas City Reign will have the number 1 lottery odds. So that should be fun. We're in a better spot this year than the teams were last year in the lottery. I wish the Venom were in the Reign's position, if I'm being honest, but good for them. So we will get that all done in the next episode, which will be coming out soon, and I'll see you then. Fangs out.